All right, let's talk about another verbal, and that is the verbal infinitives. So the first one was gerunds. Cool thing about gerunds is they always end in ing. They always function as nouns. That's the easy one. Hold on to that one. Then we talked about participles. They have several different endings, including ing, but they always function as adjectives. Piece of cake, kind of. This is the tough one. The always part of infinitives is that it always has the word to followed by a verb, like to sing, to play, to read, to write. So when we have the word to followed by a verb, okay, infinitive. I don't know if this helps. Have you ever heard that little phrase, to infinity and beyond? Have you heard that? To infinity and beyond. So kind of tie infinity, infinitive with the word to infinity and beyond. To and a verb is an infinitive. All right, here's the challenging part. It can be used as a noun, which remember nouns can be used as the subject, they can be used as the direct object, indirect object, object of a preposition. So an infinitive can show up in a lot of different places in a sentence. It can be used as an adjective. It can be used as an adverb. Yikes. I wrote one sentence here that has 1, 2, 3 words, 3 times it uses the word to in it. Now you might think all 3 of them are going to be infinitives, but they're not. How can we tell? This is really tricky. There's an assignment you're going to have to do in your PACE where you have to underline all the infinitives in a bunch of sentences. You're reading a paragraph or a whole story, and your brain is going to think, every time I see to, it's got to be an infinitive. Nope. To is a very popular preposition. So sometimes to is a prepositional phrase. And so actually that happens here. Now how can I know? The key is if the word after to is a noun, in this case it's a noun, people, then it has to be a preposition. So prepositions always are followed by a noun. Always, 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 okay? Thankfully that's another always rule. Whereas with infinitives, they're always followed by a verb. So we know this is an infinitive phrase because it's to show, a verb, to give, another verb. All right? Then the last thing I want to point out is that when we do it to diagram them, they're again on a written. Now that's not helpful either in a way. It's confusing because the same kind of a ramp that we use for graphing, diagramming prepositions. It looks exactly the same, and the same as what we did for participles, right? All right. I went ahead and diagrammed this before I turned the video on rather than do it live in front of you, and I'm glad I did because I actually made a couple little boo-boos and I had to go back and fix them. Here's the main sentence. A way to show love to people is to give them the gospel. How do we diagram that? Way is the subject. Is the linking verb, which means slanted line. Way is, and then this is going to be the noun function. In this case, predicate nominative. Remember, anytime you have a linking verb, it's always a predicate nominative, but that is a noun function. So this whole thing is functioning as a noun, but it's this whole phrase, to give them the gospel, is functioning in that position. Here, way to show love to people. All right, so this one is a prepositional phrase. This one, a way to show love, this would have to be functioning as an adjective, and we can see that because it's under the word way, a way to show love. What kind of way? The way to show love. It answers the question, which one, what kind. Notice that after to show, we draw a line, we're showing love. It's like the direct object of this infinitive, to show love. Preposition ends in a noun, so two people. I want to just point something out here. Notice the letter or the word A. I didn't put it way over here because I wanted a little more room. The key is, and this even extends under the word is. That's okay. The key is that it hinges off of this word way. And A could have been here. I happened to put it there. There was room for it there. As long as it's connected to the correct word, we're good. All right, over here, we have to do a pedestal in order to get this to give and lift it up. Okay, so it's functioning as a noun. That's why we do it on the pedestal. It's functioning in the position of a noun. To give, so here's the infinitive part. To give them. Diagramming is great, okay? We're not giving them, we're giving the gospel to them. So remember, when we have an indirect object, so actually this is the indirect object, this is the direct object, this whole thing is functioning as an infinitive clause. We're giving the gospel to them. So this is the infinitive phrase, to give, elevate to them. The word to is missing, so that's what the X represents. To them, the gospel. Wow. Infinitives are fun, okay? Let me look here, I think on page 26, I'm still looking at page 1115, and they have a few sentences here as you see in your pace. To forgive is Christ-like. So to forgive is elevated, it's functioning as a noun, the subject. God has given to us, so that's the indirect object, and that's why there's a little X there for the word to. The command, what command? The command to love. So that is an adjective, it's an infinitive, but that is describing the word command. This one is similar to the one that I have up here, so I'm not going to talk about that one. This last one, Christ died. Oh, here's one. Why? Why did he die? To save sinners. So this is one that's being used as an adverb. Adverb is functioning to describe the verb, so it's diagrammed under the word died. All right, that concludes our lesson about infinitives. To infinity and beyond. Helps us remember that to connects to infinitives. Always have the word to in it, but they can function in several different ways. We always diagram them on a ramp and connect them to the word. All right, so if it's an adjective or an adverb, it's going to hang underneath it. If it's going to function as a noun, we have to elevate it on a pedestal, but we still do it on a ramp. All right, I hope that helps clarify this third person. There's only three types of participles, three types of verbals: gerunds, participles, and now you know about infinitives.